There was this great weaver saint in India, in Banaras. Well, he used to be a weaver, a handloom weaver. I don't know if you have seen handlooms. They go like this with their hands. And he lived in Banaras, the city of Banaras, which is famous for being the city of Shiva, the Lord of Yogis, and so on. It's getting cleaned up. It's a dirty city, but there's something special about Banaras, which, for me, yes. Anyway, this weaver saint, his name was Kabir Das. He lived in Banaras, and he earned an honest living by weaving cloth, not by selling meditation. Okay. And he said something very interesting. He said that we all seek happiness, there's no question. Wonderful, that's how it should be. However, he said, we are like the musk deer. I don't know if you've heard of the musk deer. In India it's called the kasturi mriga. The musk that's in the perfume, musk deer. In the Himalayas, there's a small variety of deer which is called the kasturi mriga, the musk deer. In a certain season, it has a little pouch under its belly where, in a particular season, musk is produced, generated. And when the musk is generated, there is this wonderful fragrance filling the air. You know how musk, you must have found it in your perfumes, musk. I advise people not to use musk perfumes because many deer have been killed for musk. Anyway, it's up to you. So, when this wonderful fragrance wafts in the air, this poor deer, D-E-E-R, also D-E-A-R, the poor deer, not knowing the source of this fragrance, looks for it everywhere. It pushes its snout into thorny bushes, bleeds, but it doesn't know that this fragrance is right under its belly. Kabir said, this is the situation, this is the case of us human beings. There is a fragrance. We are looking for the source. The source is not outside, the source is inside. And when we enjoy it, when we feel the fragrance, when we come in touch with outward circumstances, it's simply that a little bit is released from inside. When I come in contact with something that I really love, I'm happy. Yes, why? Because inside that little happiness is released from its fountainhead, from its source. Okay, let's look at it in another way. Okay, I have a small car, and then I decide I would be really happy if I have a good, big, fast car. Okay? I know the feeling, I drive. So, some people are now sitting with me. So, I think, if I have a big car, it would be nice to drive. Okay? And so I go for the car. I acquire it, I buy it, or whatever. And then, for some time, I'm supremely happy. Some time. And so I think, now because of the car, because I've acquired the car, I'm happy. Just look at it a little carefully. I'm happy because the craving for the car has temporarily been suspended. Not because I have the car. Yeah, because I have the car, the craving has been suspended. So therefore, I'm not craving for something at that point for some time, till the insurance and other things don't show up. So I'm happy. And then I want to change it because it's dissatisfaction again. and I need to get something more. So then again I'm in pain because the mind is craving, it's reaching out. And again I acquire something, and for some time I think I'm very happy. What I don't realize is this happiness is my state of mind because for some time, for a short while, I've stopped the craving. When I stop the craving, the mind settles down in quietness. It enjoys driving the car, the feeling. Right? So I enjoy. Now this enjoyment, the ancient rishis said, comes from inside you, your very essence, the core of your being, the essence of your consciousness by its very nature, no matter who you are or what you are. Young, old, man, woman, black, white, brown, yellow, whatever in between. We all have this consciousness which is the essence of our being, the core of our being, whose very nature is happiness. Independent of anything external, and not knowing this, we look for it outside. But then if you don't look for it, the whole life would come to a grinding halt. That's why the whole thing is moving. So I'm not saying we should halt it. I'm saying while we go about it, we should also understand that this thing, man, which you seek is inside you. Now, when you turn inward and begin to look at this, the whole spiritual training which is given, what is called sadhana, is the way of how to get to this fountainhead of happiness. And this core of our being has been described in the ancient textbooks with the word sat-chit-ananda. No, Sat-chit-ananda is not one word. It's 3 syllables put together, of course. One word. Like Sat, Chit and Ananda. Now, Sat means that which is always, as opposed to that which is here now and gone tomorrow. Most things are here today, including myself. I don't know how many years this body is going to last. So it's temporary. We are not here all the time. So therefore we are not Sat, not the reality. Yes, there is something in us which is, we'll come to this. So, Sat means that which is as opposed to that which is not but we think is. Well, okay, let's go further up. Somebody said, Plato said, that there are 2 things in this universe. One is is, is and the other, that this is that which is, and that which is not but is ever becoming. Not my words, Plato. That which is and that which is not but is ever becoming. The world that we see is something which is ever becoming. And since it's ever becoming, it's unstable. It keeps moving. But there is a background, a basement from which it all starts, and that is the core of our consciousness. This is that which is, and it's never becoming anything. It is. And its very nature, therefore, is called Sat, which means reality. Okay. You would say, but what happens when we die? What happens to this reality? Well, we believe, or we know that this also lasts even after the body is stopped, has gone to RIP. And Sat, and it's also called Chit, because the essence of our being, the core of our consciousness, you and me, all of us, is of the nature of consciousness, Chit. It's not just material. It's conscious, it is aware. It's that which sits behind this complex computer called the brain and becomes aware of all the computer is doing. Because some people think that consciousness is a result of the brain. We say that the brain is there, but the consciousness is the awareness that is behind the brain. It's independent of it. As long as we mistake the self as the brain, then it is the same. But the moment you start looking carefully, it's different. So chit, the word used, chit means consciousness. It's not just a material, inanimate object, but it's conscious and aware. And the last syllable is ananda, and its nature is happiness. By its very nature, without anything from outside, its nature is pure happiness. Therefore, it's called sat-chit-ananda. Now, there is an ancient, well, let's not say ancient, it's about 1,600 years old, I don't know if that's ancient, textbook in India called the Mandukya Upanishad. Manduk actually means a frog. Mandukya Upanishad. And it has just 12 verses. It's one of the Upanishads, which is the essence of the teachings of ancient Indian philosophy. And this particular Upanishad has just 12 verses. And it discusses, it doesn't say what you do or what you don't do, you should do this, you shouldn't do that. No. It looks at the states of consciousness which are common to all living beings, more so human beings. And that is, one, the waking state. I think we are all familiar with the waking state. I hope everybody is awake. So we are all aware of the waking state. When we wake up in the morning, this is the waking state. I see this, I see that, I see the world, I need my steaming cup of coffee, and then I'm fine. My waking state. Or the newspaper, I don't know what. Nowadays, it's the fine. So, morning, awake. It's called jagrati, the state of wakefulness. Now, you know this. It's common to all humanity. Everybody wakes up at some point. So, it's common. It's the same for all. That's where I say all experiments of equality and unity have failed in all parts of the world, because economically and in other ways we can never become equal. It's impossible. So many experiments have been done politically, so many. However, we are saying that there is one way you can really be equal, and that is when you realize that the essence of your being, which you have, is not different from the essence of other people's being, and therefore that's a common factor. Plus the fact that we all are at some point awake, or at other times sleeping. This is common to all, so therefore we must be one. You may sleep at different times, but so the waking state. And then the Upanishad says the next step, the next stage, which we all experience, common factor, is the dream state. Everybody dreams. Night dream, day dream, all dreams. This is common to all humanity. Everybody dreams. In fact, they say that the most, the part of our sleep where we work out all our desires and all our eccentricities and all our imagination is the REM stage, which is the rapid eye movement. When you're dreaming, you're watching fun, you're having fun. There's a circus going on. In fact, we are like schizophrenic. We're doing all kinds of things at the same time. You might see a tiger whose face is like a goat. All the imagination that we have becomes true. And sometimes even what we don't realize we have. And it is so real that when you wake up, you're looking around to see where did that tiger go. So it has been very real when you're dreaming. When you wake up, well, you think it's unreal. Why? Because it was a dream. Now I've woken up. It doesn't exist anymore. What if we have been sleeping for so long that we never wake up? Maybe the tiger still exists. Anyway, so the dream state, it need not be a tiger, it could be a mermaid. Anyway, so from waking state, dream state, equal for all human beings. Everybody has it. Then there is this deep sleep. We all love this deep sleep when the REM is over and there is no consciousness of anything external or internal. In deep sleep, we are not even aware of where we are, who we are, what we are. And here in deep sleep, everybody is equal. The boss and the worker and the chauffeur, everybody goes to sleep. And in deep sleep, the chauffeur doesn't know the boss is sleeping next door. Equal. It's an equalizing factor. There's one more equalizing factor. After a profound discussion and so on, you go to the toilet. We are all equal. Standing on either side and saying, hey, so what did you mean by that? So, waking state, dream state, and deep sleep are common to all. And the Upanishad says, there's something which, like when you sleep, you're not aware in deep sleep. But when you wake up, invariably we say, oh, that was a blissful sleep. So there was some awareness at that point, which is not, at that point it wasn't there, but it must have been there somewhere. Otherwise we wouldn't say it was a blissful sleep. We always, wonderful, heaven. So, now the Upanishad says, we are talking about the core of a consciousness which is called sat-chit-ananda, which is common to all, and which is not limited to the body, but in fact, those who experience it say that it is one in all. It may be working through different centers, but it's only one. There are no different. So, Upanishad says, apart from these three states, if you look at them carefully, there has been a witness in all these three states. In waking state, there is a witness. In dream, there is a witness. In deep sleep, there must have been a witness. Otherwise, you wouldn't say, I had a wonderful, blissful sleep. You are not aware of it at that time. The Upanishad says, when one realizes that witness, when we come face to face with that witness, which is there in all the three states, that is called the Turiya, or the stage where you realize that this spark of divinity, which is in every heart, is the same. It's only working through different centers. It's one universal, infinite thing, and it can happen only when we are free of our conditionings, all conditionings. More than that, when we realize that the cravings that we have in this world are actually unconsciously the mind seeking this which is within. So, if you turn within and look, it's there.